Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is session two of The End is Near. We are prophesying today. No, we're not prophesying at all. We're giving you some uh, definitive actions that you can implement for year end giving. Bo Prosser here from the Center for Christian Education. My friend Ruben Swint, the generosity guy, is with me, and we are talking about these actions for implementation that can help you as you move into 2025. Ruben, I uh, checked my mail this morning. 5 solicitation letters, 5 from companies I've never heard of, organizations I've never heard of. Not one of them had I ever heard of before on my kitchen table right now. They're all going in the trash can, but they made it into the house. Anyhow, we are inundated with people that are reaching out to us, wanting us to help with this and that and the other. And what's a pastor to do? What's a finance committee to do? What's a stewardship committee to do? We are calling people to generosity, and yet we have to get through the noise to get our own story told. So far, we have talked about money following mission, how important it is to continue to state our mission. We talked about sharing our ministry successes. I call that 100 things 1% better, and telling stories of where we have made a difference in the ministry of our church over this past year. And then take a special offering. I call that a season of giving towards the year end. That's not a 1 day offering, though there are churches that do that, but give people over a couple of Sundays an opportunity to participate in year end giving and ministry to help us extend into 2025. So that catches you up if you missed episode one. All of our videos are available on YouTube on the Center for Christian Education channel. So you haven't missed a thing. This is session two of actions for year end giving in 2024. My buddy Ruben Swint is here. And Ruben, thank you for your generosity and also for your wisdom. Let's move into another action if you're willing to do that.
Absolutely, Bo. Excuse me. If you haven't already, this time of the year, it would be a great time to share the giving path with your congregation. If you have already shared that, then that's fine. They will understand. But the giving path is a way to tap into the spiritual benefits that come from giving. It's a way to promote giving as a spiritual discipline, if you will. And it's a way to do it without having to say to people, it's either the tithe or nothing. The tithe is a great benchmark. It's a great goal, but many people are not giving there. In our previous video, Bo cited the statistic of people giving 3 to 5% of their income on an annual basis to their church. Very few people are at tithing. Doesn't mean they can't be there, but I would say if you're trying to generate additional funds, promoting the tithe is not going to do it, as well as promoting some kind of giving in addition to regular giving. I'm not saying don't ever talk about the tithe. I'm just saying in this particular scenario, this tactic, this action to take, getting people to take a step onto the giving path is your best solution. And you may have many people in your congregation who are not giving anything. I think most of the congregations that I've done audits for, we discover there's anywhere to 35 to 40% of members who aren't giving at all. So what the giving path does is it creates a wide open door, an easy way to participate in year-end giving and to take a step on the path. You don't have to step all the way, the whole length of the path. You just have to step on the path and walk it with the others in your congregation. If members start on the path with a gift to your church, then later they can take further steps along the path. They just need to take a step, any step, and contribute to fully funding ministry for the remainder of this year. Enjoy the spiritual blessings of having made a difference, and participate with their congregation, their community of faith.
We appreciate people who give us anything. We are appreciative. And every church has one or two of those people who give large gifts that we can count on towards the end of the year. They are managing their income and they're managing their taxes. And at the end of the year, they're going to give us a nice gift. But we really appreciate those people who are consistently giving us money that we can count on to help us continue the work of our church. And 20% of our people are giving 80% of our money. So that means there's a large group of people who can step up. I do this by inviting people to give 1% more than they've been giving. And I try to help them figure out that 1% more is maybe one less trip to Starbucks a week or one less meal that you eat out a week. So you eat peanut butter and jelly for the glory of God and share what you would have spent at McDonald's, share that with the church. And so trying to help them, give them something definite that they can work towards that will help them figure out how they can jump into this giving path and walk with us in the journey. So I'm giving up McDonald's one day a week, Ruben, so that I can share some extra money this season. Not only that, but you challenge us to use all the communication channels that are available to us. So are you suggesting we go on TV, we buy radio? What are you suggesting with this action plan?
Well, the church has adapted to the way it communicates with its members by buying into social media and realizing that people use that on a daily basis. And many people sign up on Facebook for the channel for their church. They may do that on other social media channels where the church has a presence. And what I would say is, even though you have your church members in service or online every Sunday, you can still be communicating with them during the week. Think about all the ways that your members receive information and start deploying your talking points, your ask, if you will, for year-end giving through those different channels. The best ask is done personally and it's done in person. So I would think about the weeks, the meetings and sub-meetings that are scheduled during the week. Is it possible for you, another staff person, or a lay person who's fully bought into this year-end giving approach to show up for a brief 3-minute infomercial about what we're now looking for in terms of the year-end giving, and just kind of saturate that through all the group meetings that are being held. If it's not possible for everyone to have a person physically appear, then maybe record a short video on Zoom and email that out, because or another way with YouTube, and continue to use all those different ways of appearing to make your case for the year-end giving. The appeals can come from the minister, other clergy, volunteer lay leaders. I really like when volunteers who are engaged in ministry can talk about what they're seeing and hearing in their particular ministry area. And the best of all is to have maybe a person who's receiving ministry and says, this is how it's helped us. This is how it's made a difference in our life. So bottom line, treat this year-end giving approach like a mini campaign, a small campaign, and apply energy to it and apply focus to it, and you will be pleased with results.
So you're suggesting that this is another capital campaign, for lack of a better term. This is a mini capital campaign. So
Yes,
capital campaigns sometimes are 3 to 6 months in the doing. This is a 3 to 6 week opportunity to invite people to generous giving, generous living, is how I say it. And we are learning from the culture we're a part of, how to present this message. The Center for Christian Education has a weekly newsletter. If you're not getting our newsletter, email me or Facebook me, and I'll get you on that mailing list. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. I'm trying to look at all of the environment that I'm a part of and figure out how to get my message out to other people. The same thing in our churches, trying to find out who can be those spokespeople, who can help us lead this small campaign for end of year gifts or end of year generosity, this season of giving, if you will. Now, if we do that in every capital campaign, we always want to have one or two anchor gifts, right? In our previous video on generosity, we talked about having some of those. I'm not sure anchor gifts is what you called them, but those substantial gifts that are there. So another action that you suggest is that we ask for some big gifts in this end of year campaign. So what exactly do you mean by that, and how do we go about it?
Well, absolutely. Sometimes people have the capacity to give. We're not really aware of it, but they have it, and they don't give because they've not heard that you're really looking for gifts of a certain size. And many times that kind of piques their interest because they have that capacity to give that. I'm talking about your church members who already respond to solicitations for larger gifts. They respond when their alma mater asks. They respond when the United Way asks. They respond when their favorite charity beyond the church asks. And I think the church needs to be a part of that asking for larger gifts here at the year end, because there are some who have the ability, the capacity to do that for you. If you're building a wall, you absolutely want to lay down that first row with some bigger rocks. And if you can do that, then the wall will be able to be built higher. If you have those larger rocks anchoring, as Bo said, what you're trying to do. Now, here's the rub, and most people shy away from them. To ask for a larger gift doesn't mean to send out an email. It doesn't mean to mail a letter. It doesn't mean to send a text. It's not even a phone call. It's a personal ask. It's an in front of the person to ask them if they will consider giving a large gift at the end of the year. They may ask you, well, what do you have in mind? So you need to have thought about that ahead of time. You need to have given some consideration to what you think they may be capable of giving. It wouldn't be unusual to ask at this time for a gift of $2,000, $5,000, maybe even $10,000 if you have a large gap you're trying to close between year end in funding your annual ministries. And remember, you're asking people to give who are already responding to these kinds of asks. So why not the church? Why shouldn't it receive a large church? Here's the bottom line for that giver. Giving blesses them. When they know they have the ability to make a difference, to make a big difference, That provides some meaning and purpose for their life, and they then are willing to respond if they are able. I would say don't look at this as an opportunity to take something from someone. This is not a taking the offering. This is blessing your church members with the opportunity to give in a level that they are capable of giving. It helps them answer the question, why has God blessed me with all this wealth? What is the purpose? How should I manage it? How will I be a better steward of what I have that's so much greater and larger than others? Give them the opportunity to wrestle with that question and to respond to make a large gift to your year-end giving appeal.
I heard a story from one of my clients this week who said the most fun he'd ever had in ministry was a church. He was serving in a small setting. The pastor was in his office one day, and an older gentleman came in and sat down and said, Pastor, I need you to know something. God has given me the ability to make money, and God has given me the ability to give money away. So,
That's great.
Pastor, don't be shy when there is a need in the church. He said, Bo, I had more fun with that man. I had more fun within our church. We were creative. We weren't bound by anything. Don't be afraid to receive a blessing. And so many of us are so shy about that. And as my other client said, I don't ask for money and I don't tell our story. People come every week. They know what we're doing. They know what we need, blah, blah, blah. Well, they're not coming every week and they don't know what we need.
That's right.
And, and
That's right.
so, as you said in the first video, tell them what you told them, and then tell them again what you need to tell them. So over time, as we're communicating consistently, people will hear our message and want to participate. So that brings us to the final action plan, and it is really undergirding all of the
Yes,
other plans.
that's right. That's right.
So what you say here is be bold, don't be shy, ask for what you need.
That's exactly right.
What do we do? What do we do with that?
Well, the attitude with which we approach giving and asking for giving a lot of times determines the outcome. It determines the results. You don't want to start by apologizing for having to ask, as if the church has done something wrong, as if the membership hasn't been really generous. You want to celebrate every gift you've ever gotten through the year. You want to be glad you're at the position you are in and the ministry you've accomplished. And you want to say with confidence, this is how we go forward through the end of the year. And being bold, not being pie in the sky, but having a strong confidence in yourself, your own giving, a lot of times makes a big difference. And here's the reality. The giving that is going to occur because you asked for it is going to do a lot of good for people. And it's going to do equally a lot of good for those who give. It's going to bless their lives. And so the good that can be accomplished from our giving just needs to be grabbed hold of. It needs to be seized. I have a slogan, if you will, on my website, Carpe Bonum. You've heard of Carpe Diem, seize the day. Mine is Carpe Bonum, seize the good, because good makes a whole lot of difference in the world. And we can do that by being sure that the good you're trying to accomplish is fully funded. We give time, certainly. We give energy. We give influence. We give skills. We give money. And you've often heard the phrase, you believe it yourself, stewardship is more than money. It is. And stewardship is not less than money. It's not. Stewardship includes money. So this is the time when you ask, as a stewardship leader, as a pastor, as clergy, as a volunteer. Ask members to be generous to their church here at the end of the year, and do it boldly. Do it because you're doing it, and let folks know that you're doing it. You just need to, at the end of the day, remind folks of the good generosity of God that blesses us all. And this is another way to share that.
Absolutely. God loves a cheerful giver, and God loves a grumpy giver as well. So be bold. And some people are going to say to you, Pastor, all you ever do is talk about money. The response to that is, yeah. I also talk about prayer all the time. I also talk about salvation and discipleship all the time. Generosity is a part of who we are as the children of God. And I'm inviting you to join me on that journey. You don't have to apologize ever for asking God's people to do what God's people should be doing. So be bold and don't be shy. These are fascinating activities that you can be a part of. Ruben has so generously and so wisely shared with us. Money follows mission. Tell the good things that you're doing. Invite people into this season of sharing with you so that they can join you on the giving path. Communicate. And after that, communicate a little more. Treat this as a small campaign, a small fundraising campaign, where you have some big anchor gifts that help you get the momentum and the energy to asking others to join you. Don't be afraid to ask for big gifts and make those asks personally. Go and sit down with some people that you know have the wherewithal to help you. And then don't be shy. Don't be shy about asking. Be bold. We are not asking, we are inviting. And that
Yes.
invitation leads to blessing. The blessing of the giver, the blessing of the receiver, and then most importantly, the blessing of those who will benefit from the ministries that are fully funded and enable us to move forward with confidence and with creativity. So just so excited. This is fabulous. Most of you will be watching this. You've got less than 8 weeks to put this in place. So we've given you some definitive actions, specific actions you can take.
Yes.
They come from a man who has years of training and leading churches. Ruben, if somebody needs further information, how do they get in touch with you?
My website, rubenswint.com. You'll find all my contact information there. And I would say you can send me an email, rubenswint@gmail.com. Bo and I have only talked about 7 actions. You may have experience with other actions that have been successful in churches, or you have pastored or are currently pastoring. I invite you to share that with us. We'll put it out there.
If you miss that, shoot me an email at boprosser.com and I'll hook you up, or private message me on Facebook and I'll make sure you and Ruben get together. Just fascinating. Thank you so much. Every time we come together, I'm just full of energy, not only for our churches, but also for the Center for Christian Education and things I need to be doing right now as well. Ruben Swint, the generosity guy, always a pleasure. Bo and the
Thank you,
Beard
Bo.
and the Center for Christian Education. Thanks so much, Ruben. Happy end of year giving, everyone. And we will see you again. Until then, Bo Prosser, keep on rocking out there.